the truth, I was actually crying because I felt completely robbed.
Nasser was very good. Some people think she should have won.
I never really understood how Dorian Yates really won.
Yeah, I thought he should have won easy.
Somebody should have been crowned in this.
Nasser was so outspoken and talked openly about drugs.
The 1997 Mr. Olympia, Dorian Yates versus Nasser El Sonbaty, one of the clearest robberies that ever happened in the history of bodybuilding. It wasn't even close between second and first place. Nasser El Sonbaty was clearly much better than Dorian, who was facing a serious arm injuries, a bicep tear and also a tricep tear.
He had a torn up left bicep, a freshly torn left triceps, and apparently 2 quad tears.
I don't think he was even able to train the last couple of weeks before the show. All he was doing is just going through his poses.
I was definitely not at my best. I had the tricep injury going into that contest.
And many argued that it was unfair for him to be allowed to compete in the first place.
This is very questionable, how the sport can continue existing with such kind of strange decisions.
His physique was extremely imbalanced. His waist was large, his structure and symmetry was off, the proportion were gone.
Dorian probably shouldn't have even made the top 5.
He wasn't the same Dorian we knew.
He just wasn't that sharp. You could see in his eyes even, he looked almost glazed over.
It was also his last Olympia win. But then along comes Nasser, who delivered a complete package.
For some reason on this particular day, peaked his body out. He was full, he was hard, he was ripped, he was shredded.
A crazy conditioning, crazy muscle roundness, a really good taper waist, and with all those freaking muscles, he was a true mass monster.
I couldn't believe how big he was.
He was outstanding in almost every single aspect.
Dorian was down in size. Nasser actually looked bigger than him. It was something that Dorian had never experienced on stage before.
Look at the pecs, the shoulders, the legs. The arms go without saying. They're all bigger and fuller on Nasser El Sonbaty.
The big advantage Yates had was his famously large back, which rarely failed to impress. But the pain from his torn triceps severely hampered his posing routine, somewhat mitigating any advantage he had.
Dorian's front double bicep here may very well be the worst single pose of any Mr. Olympia in history.
Overall, Nasser won more poses, and he was more complete.
He's the only guy who could make fun of Dorian Yates. He used to call him Backzilla.
The professor rivaled Yates in terms of sheer size while keeping an aesthetic quality physique few could match.
He's one of the only men in history to be able to stand next to Yates and not get blown out of the water.
Nasser was very good. Probably the guy that came closest to beating me also.
It looked like a new champion would be crowned.
And then I heard all these yes, Nasser looks good, but Dorian beat him from the back. The answer is, didn't I beat him from the front and from the side and from the other side? Besides that, from the back you see also the shoulders and the legs.
Backstage, Flex Wheeler came to Nasser after the pre-judging and asked him, "Do you think they'll give you the win you deserve?" Nasser didn't say anything. He hoped that he was wrong. But Dorian Yates once again claimed the covered title. Nasser was shocked when Dorian declared the winner, and you can see that from his reaction.
I went back to the hotel room. Actually, guys, again, to tell you the truth, I was actually crying because on stage I didn't want to cry because I felt completely robbed.
Nasser should have won this Olympia. There was no clear-cut controversial decision in bodybuilding than the 1980 Mr. Olympia.
It was a very close contest. Some people think she should have won.
This is the one that El Sonbaty should have won, right? That a lot of people say 97.
Yeah, I thought he should have won easy.
I strongly feel that 1997 was Nasser's year. He should have won that Mr. Olympia.
Somebody should have been crowned Mr. Olympia.
Do I still consider the 1997 to be a robbery? Yes, absolutely.
And the reason for this, the political reason you would say, would be the fact that Nasser was so outspoken and he did not brown nose with the IFBB. He would say what's on his mind. He would talk openly about drugs, whether it be synthol, steroids, growth hormone, whatever it was. Nasser was very, very open about all this. He's a very, very opinionated guy, oftentimes saying things that were not very flattering to the IFBB or flattering to bodybuilding in general. And for that reason, he believes he was robbed in 1997.
In an old interview with Bodybuilding.com, Nasser said he won despite a huge belly, looking like he was pregnant in 6 months, a waist like a drum, a torn up left biceps, a freshly torn left triceps, a quad tear left, a quad to your right, a torn right hip. He won it with a perfect score, which was just unbelievable. This was a completely staged outcome and the biggest bodybuilding robbery of the 20th century. He added, some judges did not want to upset their friend Dorian, and they did not want him to go out of bodybuilding with a defeat.
Nasser El Sonbaty, never really got on that well with him. I found him to be, what's the word in England? We say two-faced.
Did you put him like peak big guys, like even more impressive at his peak than Dorian Yates?
Yeah.
You put El Sonbaty ahead of Yates as impressive?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's a big statement, Ronnie.
Yeah, but you wasn't there. You didn't see him. One of my best friends.
El Sonbaty?
Yeah. Nicest guy ever.
How about Yates? Yates and you had a relationship?
No, I never talked to him.
You guys never spoke? At all?
No.
Him not reaching out to you, never reaching out to him?
Even though some could see Dorian's victory as a testament for his unwavering dedication, that even in the face of all those injuries and setbacks, he was still able to compete at the end of the day. But I see it more as a sign of the incompetency and the possible corruption of the EFBB judging system.
I wasn't an NPC athlete, Dorian wasn't either, but at least he had a good connection to a lot of NPC people, and which are also major people in the IFBB, so it works always good out if you know people and you talk to people and you invite people to your house and make your phone calls. And I was never one of these guys who did that, and I didn't do it today. I don't have a problem to call anybody up of these people in the hierarchy, but I'm not calling them intentionally up to place higher or to play games. And at that time I was also pretty freaky compared to the other guys. A lot of smaller people would have thought they won't have a chance to come up in the higher hierarchy of pro placement. But then I thought maybe I will win next year, but next year I didn't win either.
Nasser was really never the same after that. He looked great in the 98 Olympia when Ronnie was first and won his first Olympia, and then Flex was second. He was third, Nasser, and he looked great there too. But he just couldn't beat these genetic freaks. It was an era of, like, you know, shape, symmetry, and size.
So I think my physique was somehow at the wrong time, at the wrong place. But then when Dorian basically stepped out, they started slowing me more and more down as well. Because I didn't win against him, but at the same time, when his time was over, it looked almost like my time would be soon over, and at the end it was like that.
I got to be honest with you, I never ever laughed as much as when I was with Nasser. So may he rest in peace. I hope he's watching down, laughing over there, because we did have some good times together. And
what about you guys? What do you think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you liked this video, make sure you subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. See you in the next one. Peace.
Okay, we'll give me another one. Who's your hero in bodybuilding? Who do you admire the most?
I don't admire anyone.
Who do you want to beat most?
No, I don't want to be anyone.
Have anything to say to someone trying to start out in this bodybuilding, watching you, a fan?
No.
Okay, well, thank you.